In essence, is your view on restructuring all about resource control?
Restructuring throws away a unitary system and brings about a federal system, brings about some form of fiscal independence, brings about competition between the units of administration, promotes development. Ironically, Northern Nigeria, in September 1966, at the Ad hoc Constitutional Conference, promoted this kind of restructuring. They said that federal and unitary system had failed and that we must have a Nigeria of regions which were equal and which gave people to the federal government on equal basis. Contrary to what Kumase was saying the other day. Contrary with what El-Rufai was saying the other day. And you don't change the goalposts depending on whether you have the capacity to score or not. You have to be consistent. This is the problem.
What's the difference between your own standpoint and that of Biafra? Because you have the rhetoric seems to be falling on similar line now. You seem to have sympathies for some of the agitation being echoed by the pro-Biafra groups.
Benga, don't put words into my mouth. People listening to me understand very well what I'm saying. What I'm saying very clear. I have not referred to the struggle for Biafra since the beginning of this interview. But you are putting words into my mouth. I have said consistently in my public utterances that Ohanese stands for the restructuring of the Nigerian Federation. But I very much understand what IPOB and MASOP are doing. And they have been pushed to this because of the sense of degradation and marginalization of the people of the Southeast. And their vote of no confidence on their parents for having no capacity to struggle for them to be treated in a better fashion. I've gone through the war. I was a soldier in Biafra. I know the effect of war. Igbos lost 2 million people in warfare and air raids. They lost 1.5 million people to starvation, officially recognized by the government of Nigeria at that time as a legitimate instrument of warfare. They lost 1 million children who were kwashiorkor-stricken, sick of many ailments, who were hoarded out of Biafra without any documentation.
Now, because you've consistently argued that the Southeasterners are not being given a sense of belonging, and that seems to be the focal point for the call for Biafra.
Well, I'm not Nnamdi Kanu's press secretary. Don't ask me what he should have done or what he should do. I am telling you, I understand what he's doing.
This is something that
you're putting... No, please. You have to put the argument in context. You're interviewing Nwodo, President General of Ohanese. I have told you what the official position of Ohanese is. I've told you that I understand why Nnamdi is doing what he's doing. I have told you the indices of marginalization in the Southeast. I'm expounding them. You stop me and say, why shouldn't Nnamdi have done this? I'm not his press secretary.
Let's review the quit notice, because there are several of these agitations from the Southeast to the North. The quit notice, for instance, in the North, how do you see such call in the North?
Now, I wouldn't know what their popular wish is because I haven't run a referendum on how many of them support the Arewa youth. But I can tell you a few things that have happened in the last 2 years that make me think that this quit notice is symptomatic of a rising crescendo of hate which threatens our national unity. I have about 10 cases of lynching and murder of Igbos. One happening even after the quit notice. Instant justice. In Niger State, somebody was murdered to death. Stores of Igbo people were burnt. Their church was burnt. No prosecution. In Kano State, the Attorney General issued a nolle prosequi, stopping the prosecution of a man that murdered a woman because he was doing absolution in her shade and washing the dirt off his feet in her shade. The Nigerian legal system has basically neglected criminal acts against Igbos.
Are you suggesting that these victims coming from the southeast were prevented from seeking redress in the court of law?
As you very well know, under our law, you cannot prosecute criminal cases. It is the responsibility of the police and the Attorney General, the Director of Public Prosecutions, to do this. And I cannot take a fiat to prosecute those people without the permission of the Attorney General. So the government system has made it impossible for justice to be obtained. And the fact that these people are doing it without let or hindrance means that there is a heightened feeling of hate, rage, anger, animosity against Igbos.
Let's put into perspective the views of the Southeast governors. They are saying that the call for restructuring is being over-dramatized and the agitations are being taken out of context.
None of them said so. I was at a meeting with all Southeast governors on Sunday. We had a communique. You are in possession of that communique. And the communique states all equivocally that the entire people of the Southeast are for restructuring. And that they want the 2014 Constitutional Conference report brought back to the National Assembly. And the conference put together by the government so that restructuring can be realized.
You may also join in this conversation by sending us your comments on our various social media platforms showing on your screen. Coming up on Question Time, setting the record straight on restructuring Nigeria. Join us again.